Over a month ago, this channel launched a hashtag campaign on social media, Seats for Stimulus. When the Purple Power was created by this channel, a movement to get you stimulus, Seats for Stimulus was one of the earliest and most popular hashtags. It said, take away seats of congressional leaders if they don't give you stimulus. It was pretty obvious. Well, this week, Seats for Stimulus worked. Republicans and Democrats, House and Senate, lost incumbent seats because of their inability to give stimulus. Tonight, there is a new movement. And the new movement is focusing on the person who has singularly held up your stimulus across the board. And we're not the only ones that are saying it. Tonight, Democrats are saying about her as well. Hence starts tonight's campaign of Purple Power of Speaker for Stimulus, the move to get a new Speaker of the House from the Democratic Party, other than Nancy Pelosi. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Evenings LALATE, an exciting great news tonight about stimulus. Stimulus is coming. Congress says it's coming. Mitch McConnell says it's coming. Wall Street says it's coming, and the Federal Reserve says it's needed right away. And tomorrow morning, we'll see when the new jobs numbers is issued by the Labor Department, how important stimulus is needed because of the inability to create new jobs since the month of September. That's the jobs number. But tonight, Democrats are calling for the ouster of Nancy Pelosi for her inability to get stimulus done, which has caused the Senate to stay Republican and the House to lose an incredible number of seats to Republicans. Here comes the hashtag. Hashtag Speaker for Stimulus. To take out the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and put in a new Democratic Speaker that will get us real stimulus. If you've not subscribed to this channel, you see why it's a time to subscribe. Go to the front of the channel, subscribe. Because this is Purple Power, and this is the video that focuses on the power of the people. And tonight, I'm going to recap how powerful you have been, and you should really congratulate yourselves. Also, like this video. The Purple Power is the name that I gave to describe the viewers of this channel, so if you're new joining this channel, you understand what the word means. Purple Power is to refer to the followers of this channel because they called me initially Mr. Purple or Purple because I was wearing a lot of purple shirts. And then when I said, well, I'm wearing purple shirts, well, you have purple power. You can go do a lot of things. And the very first hashtags I talked about on this channel was Seats for Stimulus. If you actually look for it on Twitter, you can see tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of tweets for Seats for Stimulus. Or if you start to type it in your browser, it will auto-correct it for you because there have been so many tweets of seats and then the number 4, stimulus. Tonight, a new hashtag. Senate Speaker for Stimulus. Tonight, there's new calls for Nancy Pelosi to resign or not re-seek re-election for Speaker of the House. Let me first explain the position and then explain to you why there's tensions. And third, I'll focus on what you could do as the Purple Power. First, the Speaker of the House position is voted upon by members of the House electorate. So you don't vote on the Speaker of the House position. First, you have to be reelected as a member of the House of Representatives. She was. Then, after that vote, after everyone is in place, and then they elect a speaker. The speaker is a position, and the speaker certainly pays more money than a normal House member's position provides. It gives them a better office, and it gives them a title, and it also gives them a lot of duties. Well, one of the strange duties that predates this channel that really no one seems to understand or has yet explained is when did Nancy Pelosi singularly become the voice of Democratic negotiations for the stimulus package? Today, she said she's ready to start negotiating, but she specifically omitted one entire body, the Senate. She says, I'm ready to get a deal done with the White House. The White House is not talking to you. And yesterday, the Senate says they're ready to get it done with you. And she specifically omitted the Senate in her sentence. A little shady? No. It's actually quite emphatic. That path of saying do it her way or the highway is actually now not working. And today and yesterday, there were reports that says that Democrats in the Senate have approached other Democrats and say, step up and vie for this position of Speaker of the House. How does this work? Generally, there's 1 to 2 speakers who go up for the position. They say, I want to be it, and someone nominates them, and they say, okay, let's call a vote. And generally, there have been 2 candidates in running, and generally, the Temple of Doom has battled 1 person each time. She has generally won over a enormous margin, not 200 to just 20 or something. It's usually a very massive margin, but this time the situation is different. What's going on is a couple of major problems. One of the problems was there was a belief that it was going to be a blue wave. The blue wave meant that the Democrats were going to take the House, the Senate, and the White House. Now there's concerns that the blue wave was actually like a blue putty, or a blue, ripple. Joe Biden is expected to take the presidency by some accounts. The House is expected to remain Democratic, and the Senate is to remain Republican. What's important to understand in that analysis is that the House, the Democrats have now lost seats, not gained seats. They've gone backwards. In the Senate, the Republicans lost seats themselves, but actually also picked up seats. And then finally, in Georgia, there's a runoff race coming in January, and the Democrats can't even figure out how to analyze that situation. What's important to understand is that in the days leading up to the election, I didn't cover this because it's really not stimulus related and may confuse a lot of viewers. There was a fight going on between the Democrats, and it's between AOC in New York and Nancy Pelosi over one of the candidates, one of the primaries, Kennedy. AOC was very upset that Pelosi backed a person who was not an incumbent because that incumbent was a progressive. Basically, the progressives have been at odds with Nancy Pelosi for some time. And now that at odds is really hitting very hard. The progressives want their own candidate and want someone different than Pelosi and want someone that could potentially be a moderate. But then there's this. Everything that this channel has been vying for and pushing for is very clear on stimulus. There were the Blue Dog Democrats who were in the House who wrote Nancy Pelosi a letter saying, do a standalone bill. She ignored the letter and slammed them and insulted them. There were the New Democrat Coalition who are members of the House, who are Democrats, who wrote her a letter, do a standalone bill. She ignored them and insulted them. There were the Problem Solvers who are both Republicans and Democrats about the House and the Senate. They wrote a bill and said, here you go. And they also approached her office to discuss the bill before they wrote it. She refused to speak with them. Then when they debuted the bill, she slammed the bill. And she called Democrats in the Problem Solvers Republicans. She referred to fellow Democrats as Republicans. As time went on, when asked about these tensions, she said there were no tensions, that it was just her caucus, and that the news reports were totally false, even though that it was so disconcerting that actually the groups like Blue Dogs, Problem Solvers, New Democrat Coalitions, some of them even had press agents to make sure that you got the press statement because Nancy Pelosi was always saying that the things were not true. They wanted to make sure you understood they were true. So what's important to understand, Purple Power, is the push to get stimulus. It needs to involve pushes all over the place. And we have been very pushy. And being pushy has been working. And so the new hashtag tonight is hashtag speaker for stimulus. Make it very clear that Nancy Pelosi should not be the next speaker because she has not given you stimulus. You need to have a speaker who gives you stimulus and negotiates. These are the couple problems as we sit here tonight as to why Nancy Pelosi has fundamentally been the problem of the stimulus negotiations. First, she has never moved. Since the date at which I started this channel, her deal items have never moved. I mean, I can't imagine someone claiming they're negotiating and they literally don't even move a penny on a dollar. And that has to stop. Second, she's cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars personally, each one of you. In the case of FPUC, she was offered $400 a week from Steve Mnuchin in the month of July. She turned it down. How many weeks has it been since the month of July? Let's do the math. Let's do it. August, September, October, November. Okay, 4 months. How many weeks in the month? 4. 16 weeks. Okay, 16 weeks times $400 a week. Oh, no, that's not $4,000. That's about $6,000. She's cost you about $6,000 in FPUC. Imagine if you had $6,000 in your pocket right now, how different this would be. We wouldn't be screaming and shouting about stimulus checks because you would have $6,000. What else has she cost you? She cost you hazard pay. She took it out. The problem solvers approached her office to discuss her deal provisions that she wanted. She took out a hazard pay. She has cost you stimulus checks. Steve Mnuchin last offer was somewhere higher, not this amount, but higher than $1,200 checks for all adults. $500 and $1,000 checks for children. Wanted to do a standalone bill for that. She refused to do that. Cost you that money. She has cost you, or her group has cost you the remainder of the $10,000 EIDL grant that was owed to you, and no one in her caucus wanted to step up and really take on Jovelia Carranza to get the remainder of the $10,000 grant. She has blocked Senator Harris's efforts to commandeer the collective spirit of the American people to give you what Senator Harris and Senator Sanders wrote in their bill. $2,000 every month for 6 months until the pandemic improves or until unemployment goes down. That's $12,000 she cost you. Well, no, it's been 7 months, 14,000. What else has she cost you? Oh boy, she has cost you the two stimulus checks in the first stimulus package. Remember, there was supposed to be a stimulus check for the month of April and May. Took that out, so she gave you one check. And if you're an adult dependent, she didn't even give you a check. So she cost you, what was that? $2,400 there. Okay, are we keeping a running tab? If you get the message, she's cost you upwards of about $15,000 to $20,000 each American household. And what's important to understand is you may never see that money coming back. It's important to understand is that we are fighting tooth and nail that we get retroactiveness with these people. But when we talk about taking out that stimulus check in April and May, you may never get that stimulus check from April and May. When they took out the hazard pay, when they did not do hazard pay retroactive to July and are now trying to do it to retroactive to September, they're losing. You're taking away 4 weeks of you at $400 a week. So that's about two grand right there. They may never get you caught up on what they took out, and it's all her inability to understand how to negotiate. She's completely categorically incompetent on negotiating. And so what's important to understand is that purple power is about paying positive. And I know someone's going to say, dude, you're being a little bit negative Nanny in this video. But it's important to push. And what I'm doing is I'm keeping it positive, but I'm also keeping you on focus. What I want to do is I want you to be very, very strong-willed on this one, because this may be the big push. The important thing to understand is that there's so much incredible positivity coming for stimulus right now. Mitch has been shockingly great news yesterday. Wall Street says it's absolutely categorically coming. Jerome Powell says it has to be done. He says the economy is not improving and we are substantially behind where we were pre-pandemic levels. And then the new jobs number tomorrow will also say stimulus needs to come right now. And then I haven't even got to the COVID number case. I mean, it's 120,000 or 110,000 cases a new day. So you need stimulus. But then you see the quote from her today, which says, you know what, who's the Senate? I don't know the Senate. Who's the Senate? I'm going to go talk to who I want to talk to. Honey, that would have worked if you actually won. You lost. So knock on wood. You lost seats in the House because of that type of attitude. You did not take the Senate because of that type of attitude. And if you look at some of the broadcast news channels, featured people saying that they chose not to vote a certain way in the campaigns, not because of their candidate, not because of who they're looking at on the candidate, but because of her. They actually chose to vote against a Democratic candidate just because of how she acted in her handling of COVID relief. Can you imagine? And that's the spirit of the purple power. is really getting things pushing along. So I want you to be on social media and understand you were successful in getting seats for stimulus. Now it's time for a new focus. And ultimately that when is that speaker vote? I don't know. It's not right around the corner. It's coming up. You have a lot of things to be tweeting, a lot of things to be pushing. Hashtag Purple Power check, hashtag Purple Power FPUC, hashtag Purple Power Hazard Pay, hashtag MSC. I know there's a lot of things to tweet. Someone asked me a great question today. Who do I tag? You need to tag when we're talking about stimulus, not Speaker of the House, when we're talking about stimulus, please tag GOP members of the Senate, because those are the ones who need to understand you need this relief. Those are the people you have to pitch to the most, because those are the ones who have fallen on deaf ears. Those are the ones who are not listening. I don't need you to tag Democrats, because Democrats usually understand what you're doing. You can tag the Blue Dogs. You can tag the bipartisan groups, the new Democrat coalitions, and the problem solvers, and I'll help you with that. I helped you a few weeks ago on that, getting them together. You could retweet me. But you see how we are. We're going to get through this together. It's going to be a great day tomorrow. So I hope you join me. Let me go over some of your quick questions and comments from last night. Renewed optimism, Rita. I love that. Purple Power rocks. Dreamweaver, good evening. We are changed, and let's get the fire lit. Castanek, remember the 309-200 Purple Power, also working for other millions. Eric, I was shocked when McConnell came out today and said stimulus was priority number one. Lisa, I've seen too many pictures of Congress watching their phone, playing on games. Beverly, something needs to be done for seniors. Let's get it done. Sandy, I heard Mitch said he would get stimulus by the end of December. I hope it'll be before the end of November. Mitch could do it by the end of November. Absolutely. Another person, good evening, LALATE Purple Power family. Oh, this is Tona. Good evening, LALATE and Purple Power family. Good evening, Tona. Wendy, don't be the Grinches for Christmas. You still owe us. I believe in Santa Claus. Darlene, and we are family. All the Purple Power and believe us, God. Lisa, hello, and LA Purple Power family. Marilyn, I believe in purple. It's the only thing that's keeping me from going crazy. I appreciate all you do, LA. Well, I appreciate you for tuning in, Marilyn Smith. And I want you to stay calm. I want you to stay positive. I want you to stay focused. And I also want you to join me on my new show, which is every day noon time, called Holidays LA. It's a lot of fun. It's lighthearted, like early mornings LA. And please join that starting 6 a.m. Pacific Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay LA for more.